The door slammed shut with a thunderous crack, echoing through the rain-soaked streets of Boston as Anastasia's mother hurled her suitcase onto the curb screaming, "You're no daughter of mine if you choose that filthy lifestyle." Tears streaming down her face, Anastasia clutched the faded photo of her grandmother, the only soul who'd ever whispered, "Love is love, my dear," before her mother had forbidden all contact. But now, years later, a lawyer's letter arrived like a ghost from the past. Grandma Evelyn had passed, and her will demanded Anastasia return to the family estate, or lose everything, including the truth about her forbidden heart. Anastasia stared at the envelope in her trembling hands, the return address from a small-town law firm in Vermont stirring memories she'd buried deep. It had been 5 years since that fateful night in Boston, when her mother, Margaret, discovered her kissing Andrea in the attic room they shared during college. The betrayal cut like a knife. Margaret, a devout Catholic with unyielding views, had not only disowned her but also severed ties with Grandma Evelyn, who had defended Anastasia's right to love whomever she chose. "That woman's poisoning your mind," Margaret had snarled, packing Anastasia's bags and driving her to a bus station without a backward glance. Now at 25, Anastasia had built a fragile life in New York City, working as a graphic designer in a bustling Soho firm. Andrea, her first and only love, had stayed by her side through the storm, their relationship blossoming in secret apartments and stolen weekends. But the scars remained. Anastasia's phone buzzed. Andrea's name lit up the screen. "Hey Anna, you okay? That letter looks official." Anastasia's voice cracked as she read aloud. "Dear Ms. Anastasia Reed, we regret to inform you of the passing of Evelyn Reed. As per her last will and testament, you are required to attend the reading at Reed Manor in 2 weeks. Failure to comply may result in forfeiture of your inheritance." Inheritance? Grandma Evelyn had been a simple woman, living in the old family home surrounded by maple trees and memories. What could she possibly have left? Andrea pulled her into a hug, her warm embrace a balm against the chill of dread. "We have to go, Anna. This could be closure or answers." But Anastasia hesitated. Returning meant facing Margaret, who had remarried a conservative businessman and moved to the suburbs, pretending her wayward daughter never existed. The thought twisted her gut. The drive to Vermont was a tapestry of autumn hues, the Green Mountains rolling like waves under a crisp October sky. Reed Manor stood as it always had, a Victorian gem with wraparound porches and secrets in every creek. As they pulled up, Anastasia spotted Margaret's SUV in the driveway, her heart pounding. Inside, the lawyer, Mr. Hargrove, a kindly man with wire-rimmed glasses, greeted them in the parlor adorned with Evelyn's antique quilts. Margaret sat rigidly, her eyes narrowing at Andrea. "You brought her," she spat, venom dripping from the word. Anastasia straightened, linking fingers with Andrea. "Yes, Mom. This is my partner, Andrea Lopez. Grandma would have wanted her here." The reading began, Hargrove's voice steady. "To my beloved granddaughter Anastasia, I leave you Reed Manor and all its contents on one condition. You must reside here for 6 months, restoring the family bonds I cherished." Margaret gasped. "That's absurd. She abandoned us." But there was more. Evelyn's letter, sealed within the will, revealed the depth of her love. "My dear Anna, your mother tore you from me because she couldn't accept your beautiful heart. But I never stopped loving you both. Use this time to heal. And know this. I've left clues in the house about a hidden truth that might change everything." Anastasia's eyes welled. Clues? Hidden truth? As the group dispersed, Margaret stormed out, muttering about contests. Andrea squeezed her hand. "This is our chance, Anna, to reclaim what was stolen." That night, in Evelyn's old bedroom, Anastasia and Andrea unpacked, the air thick with lavender from Grandma's sachets. They found the first clue, a faded journal entry tucked in a dresser drawer. Margaret's secret shame, the love she denied in her youth. Anastasia's breath caught. What did that mean? As days turned to weeks, they settled into the rhythm of small-town life. Anastasia redesigned the manor's gardens, planting roses Evelyn had loved, while Andrea, a teacher, volunteered at the local school. But tension simmered. Margaret visited unannounced, criticizing every change. "You're turning my mother's home into a den of sin," she'd hiss. One evening during a fierce argument, Margaret revealed a crack. "You think you're the only one who suffered? Evelyn favored you because you reminded her of me. Before I chose the right path. Anastasia pressed. What path, Mom? What did you hide? Margaret fled, but the seed was planted. Andrea held Anastasia as she cried. Their love a quiet anchor. We'll uncover it together, Andrea whispered, kissing her forehead. The manor, once a prison of memories, began to feel like home. Yet doubts crept in. Andrea received a job offer back in New York. A promotion she couldn't refuse. It's temporary, she assured, but Anastasia felt the pull of distance. As Andrea prepared to leave for a trial period, a storm hit Vermont, mirroring the turmoil inside. In the attic, searching for more clues, Anastasia found old letters, love notes from Margaret to a woman named Clara, dated from her college days. The realization hit like lightning. Her mother had been in love with a woman, but suppressed it, projecting her pain onto Anastasia. Confrontation loomed. But first, betrayal struck. Margaret, learning of the letters, tried to burn them, only for Anastasia to intervene. You hypocrite! Anastasia yelled. You tore us apart because you couldn't face yourself. Tears flowed as truths unraveled. Evelyn had known, protecting Margaret's secret while hoping for redemption. In the chaos, Andrea returned early, her presence steadying the storm. The revelation hung heavy in the air of Reed Manor, like the scent of rain after a downpour. Anastasia clutched the yellowed letters, her mother's youthful handwriting a stark contrast to the rigid woman before her. Margaret's face crumpled, years of denial cracking like porcelain. You don't understand, she whispered, sinking into an armchair. It was the 80s. My family, your grandparents, would have disowned me. Issues survival. Andrea stood silently by the door, her dark eyes filled with empathy. She'd grown up in a vibrant Hispanic family in Chicago, where love was celebrated in all forms, but she knew the weight of cultural expectations. Mrs. Reed, she said softly, hiding doesn't erase the hurt you caused. Anastasia paced, emotions swirling. Anger, pity, sorrow. Grandma knew, didn't she? That's why she defended me. She saw history repeating. Margaret nodded, tears streaking her makeup. Evelyn caught me with Clara. She promised to keep it secret if I ended it. I married your father to prove I was normal. But when I saw you with her, she glanced at Andrea, it brought it all back. I panicked. The confession opened floodgates. Over herbal tea in the kitchen, stories poured out. Margaret spoke of stolen kisses in dorm rooms, the agony of goodbye. Anastasia shared her own journey, meeting Andrea at a campus pride event. The electric spark of first love amid fear of rejection. I thought you'd understand, Anastasia said, voice breaking. Instead, you ripped me from the only family who did. As nights deepened, the manor became a confessional. Andrea facilitated, her calm demeanor bridging gaps. They cooked together. Evelyn's famous apple pie, laughter mingling with tears. But conflict brewed. Margaret's husband, Robert, a stern banker, arrived uninvited, demanding she contest the will. This place is worth millions. We can't let her turn it into some liberal haven. Robert's arrival ignited sparks. He sneered at Andrea. You're the reason for all this mess. Anastasia defended fiercely. No, intolerance is. The argument escalated, Robert pressuring Margaret to side with him. In a moment of weakness, Margaret wavered, signing preliminary papers to challenge the inheritance. Betrayal stung anew. Anastasia discovered the documents hidden in Margaret's purse. How could you? She confronted, heart-shattering. Margaret sobbed. I'm scared. Anna. Robert controls everything, our finances, our life. If I lose him. Andrea, ever the rock, urged patience. She's trapped like you were. But Anastasia felt the old wounds reopen. That night, alone in the garden under starlit skies, she questioned everything. Was forgiveness possible? Or would history doom them? Andrea found her there, wrapping arms around her waist. We're stronger together, she murmured, their lips meeting in a gentle kiss that spoke volumes of enduring love. Don't let this break us. The next day, a breakthrough. While restoring Evelyn's study, they uncovered a hidden safe. Inside, not gold but mementos, photos of Margaret and Clara, Evelyn's diary praising her daughter's spirit, and a letter to Anastasia. Forgive her, child. Love mends what fear breaks. Inspired, Anastasia confronted Robert. This house isn't about money, it's about family. Robert laughed dismissively, but Margaret, overhearing, found her voice. No, Robert. I'm done hiding. She tore the papers, choosing her daughter over security. Elation mixed with uncertainty. Robert left in a huff, threatening divorce. Margaret stayed, vulnerable but free. The women bonded over shared stories. Anastasia and Andrea's weekend getaways to the Cape, Margaret's regrets. Laughter returned, tentative at first. Yet, drama peaked when Clara, now a successful artist in Seattle, contacted them. Evelyn had reached out before dying, sharing the letters. Clara's email. I'd love to reconnect if Margaret allows. Anastasia forwarded it, watching her mother's reaction. Fear flickered, then resolve. Invite her, Margaret said. The visit loomed, a high-wire act of emotions. Clara arrived on a sunny afternoon, silver-haired and graceful. The reunion was electric, hugs, tears, reminiscences. I never stopped loving you, Clara admitted. Margaret blushed. Nor I you. But it was platonic now, a closure rather than rekindling. Anastasia observed, heart swelling. Andrea whispered. This is what Evelyn wanted, truth setting us free. As the 6 months neared end, bonds strengthened. Margaret moved in temporarily, attending therapy with Anastasia. Andrea commuted from New York, their love unwavering. But a final twist. The will's codicil revealed Evelyn had left a trust fund for LGBTQ+ youth, managed by Anastasia. To honor the loves we hide, it read. Tears flowed as they celebrated with a backyard barbecue, neighbors joining in Vermont's inclusive spirit. Anastasia proposed to Andrea under the maple tree, ring glinting in sunlight. Yes, Andrea beamed. Margaret watched, pride replacing prejudice. I'm sorry, she said later. And proud. Healing began, not perfect but profound. With the will's conditions met, Reed Manor pulsed with new life, its walls echoing laughter instead of silence. Anastasia and Andrea's engagement announcement spread through the small town like wildfire, drawing well-wishers and curious glances. Margaret, now single after Robert's swift divorce filing, threw herself into helping plan the wedding, a modest affair in the manor's gardens come spring. But shadows lingered. Margaret's therapy sessions unearthed deep-seated guilt, leading to volatile moods. One evening over dinner, she snapped at Andrea's suggestion for inclusive vows. Not everything has to be about that, she muttered. Anastasia tensed. Mom, it's our wedding. Our love. The outburst reopened rifts. Andrea, sensing the strain, confided in Anastasia. I love you, but this family drama, it's exhausting. Anastasia nodded. I know. But we're almost through. Clara's presence added complexity. Staying for a week, she and Margaret rekindled friendship, sharing walks and wine. Anastasia felt a pang. Jealousy? No, relief mixed with envy for the love her mother once denied herself. High drama unfolded when Robert returned, armed with lawyers, claiming half the estate through Margaret's marital rights. You can't just walk away, he bellowed in the parlor. Margaret stood firm. Watch me. But the legal battle loomed, draining resources. Anastasia rallied, hiring Hargrove to counter. Amid stress, she and Andrea argued. Andrea wanted to elope, escape the chaos. Why fight for a house haunted by pain? Anastasia retorted. Because it's Grandma's legacy, our future. Betrayal hit hardest when Margaret, overwhelmed, briefly considered settling with Robert. Just to end it, she confessed. Anastasia felt shattered. After everything, tears and apologies followed, but trust frayed. Andrea, the emotional glue, organized a family retreat to the Adirondacks, a cabin Evelyn once owned. There, away from the manor, truths emerged. Around a campfire, Margaret shared her full story. The pressure from her parents, the abortion after a brief affair post-Clara, the marriage to escape. I projected my failures onto you, she admitted. Anastasia opened up about her loneliness after the disownment, the nights crying in Andrea's arms, questioning her worth. Andrea spoke of her fears. I worried you'd choose family over us. The vulnerability bonded them. Returning invigorated, they faced the court. Hargrove presented Evelyn's diary as evidence of intent, swaying the judge. Robert lost, slinking away. Victory sweetened life. Wedding preparations accelerated. flowers from local farms, a band playing folk tunes. Clara designed invitations, her artistic touch adding romance. Yet, personal conflicts persisted. Anastasia discovered Andrea had turned down the New York job permanently, sacrificing for her. "You didn't have to," Anastasia whispered. Andrea smiled. "Love means choices." Margaret's growth shone when she attended a local PFLAG meeting, sharing her journey. "I was wrong," she told the group. "Love isn't a choice, acceptance is." As spring bloomed, the wedding day arrived. Under a canopy of cherry blossoms, Anastasia walked the aisle with Margaret, Andrea waiting in a flowing gown. Vows exchanged. "In joy and sorrow we'll build what was broken." The reception buzzed, dancing toasts. Margaret raised a glass. "To Evelyn, who knew love conquers all." Cheers erupted. Post-honeymoon, they transformed the manor into a retreat for LGBTQ+ families, honoring the trust fund. Margaret volunteered, finding purpose. But life wasn't fairy tale perfect. Arguments arose, over finances, boundaries. Yet, communication prevailed, deepened by trials. One quiet evening, Anastasia and Andrea sat on the porch, hands entwined. "We made it," Anastasia said. Andrea kissed her. "And we'll keep making it." Margaret joined, watching the sunset. "Thank you for forgiving me." Anastasia hugged her. "Family is forever." The human spirit's resilience shone, turning pain into profound connection. Months after the wedding, Reed Manor's transformation into Evelyn's haven brought a steady stream of visitors, queer couples seeking solace, families mending fences. Anastasia managed operations, her design skills turning rooms into welcoming spaces. Andrea taught workshops on resilience, her educator's heart thriving. Margaret, embracing her role, cooked communal meals, her stories inspiring guests. "I lost years to fear," she'd say. "Don't make my mistake." Clara visited often, their friendship a gentle undercurrent, adding artistic workshops. But drama resurfaced when a conservative town council member, irked by the haven's visibility, pushed for zoning restrictions. "This isn't the place for alternative lifestyles," he declared at a meeting. Protests ensued, supporters rallied, but threats arrived. Anonymous letters vandalized signs. Anastasia felt the weight, echoing her past rejection. "History repeating," she confided in Andrea. "What if we lose everything?" Andrea held her. "We fight like before." Margaret stepped up, using her connections from Robert's world to lobby. "I've hidden too long," she vowed. The battle intensified, hearings, petitions. Betrayal came from an unexpected source. A guest, posing as an ally, leaked internal emails to the opposition, revealing Margaret's past. Scandal erupted. Local news dubbed it the Reed family secrets. Margaret crumbled. Why now? Anastasia suspected Robert's hand, but proof lacked. In the chaos, Andrea's patience frayed. Commuting exhausted her. She missed city life. "I support you, but I'm fading here," she admitted during a heated talk. Anastasia panicked. "Are you leaving?" Andrea sighed. "No, but we need balance." Clara mediated, drawing from her own experiences. Love requires compromise. Inspired, they planned a New York satellite program for the Haven. The zoning vote loomed. At the town hall, Anastasia spoke passionately. "This house healed my family. Let it heal others." Margaret followed. "I once feared difference. Now I embrace it." Cheers from allies drowned boos. They won by a slim margin, the Haven secured. Celebration followed. A community picnic, bonds forged in adversity. Personal healing deepened. Margaret dated Clara platonically, exploring her identity at 55. "It's never too late," Clara said. Anastasia and Andrea renewed vows privately, committing to balance. "City weekends?" Andrea suggested. "Deal," Anastasia grinned. A new challenge, adopting. They applied, navigating bureaucracy. Margaret's support letter moved them. "They're the family I aspire to." Approval came, joy overwhelming. As they prepared for a child, reflections abounded. Evelyn's will had sparked it all. Reunion, revelation, redemption. One autumn day, mirroring the start, they planted a tree in Evelyn's honor. "For roots that endure," Anastasia said. Life flowed, messy, beautiful. Conflicts arose, but love prevailed. A testament to human resilience. Years blended into a tapestry of growth at Evelyn's haven, now a beacon for countless souls. Anastasia and Andrea's adopted daughter, Lily, named for Evelyn's favorite flower, toddled through gardens, her laughter a symphony of hope. At 3, she embodied the future they fought for. Margaret, fully integrated, ran support groups, her transformation inspiring articles in national magazines. From rejection to redemption, one headline read. Clara moved nearby, their companionship a quiet romance in twilight years, walks hand in hand, shared sunsets. But life's drama never fully faded. When Lily started school, whispers of 2 moms led to bullying. Anastasia's heart ached, mirroring her youth. We'll teach her strength, Andrea assured. A major conflict arose. A funding crisis hit when a donor withdrew over political stances. Bills piled. Closure threatened. Margaret suggested selling part of the land. No, Anastasia insisted. This is our legacy. Betrayal surfaced. The donor was Robert's associate, seeking revenge. Confronted, Robert sneered via video call. You ruined my life. Margaret retorted. You ruined yours. Rallying, they crowdfunded, guests sharing stories online. Virality saved them, donations pouring in. In quieter moments, deep emotions surfaced. Anastasia battled depression, old wounds resurfacing. Andrea's unwavering support, therapy sessions, midnight talks, reinforced their bond. You're my anchor, Anastasia whispered. Margaret faced health scares, a minor heart issue forcing reflections. I wasted time, she told Anastasia. But you gave me a second chance. Hugs sealed forgiveness. Clara's art exhibit featured portraits of their family, capturing raw humanity. Tears, smiles, embraces. Love in all shades, she titled it. As Lily grew, she asked about Grandma Evelyn. Stories flowed. The will that reunited, loves denied and reclaimed. She taught us kindness, Anastasia said. The climax came during a family reunion. Guests, allies gathered. A storm hit, power out, forcing candlelit confessions. Margaret proposed to Clara. Will you share forever? Yes, echoed joy amid thunder. Anastasia and Andrea watched, hearts full. Our turn for adventure, Andrea said, planning a sabbatical trip. The story closed on a humane note. Not flawless happiness but profound growth. Prejudices challenged, betrayals forgiven, love celebrated. In America's heartland they proved. Healing demands courage, but yields unbreakable bonds. Evelyn's spirit lingered. A gentle wind through maples whispering, love wins.